Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to Wolfenstein the Old Blood. So, ironically here, I thought this was going to be a zombie game, and we still have yet to see zombies. We're halfway through. So this really isn't going to be a game that falls very heavily into the category of the scariest of games. This guy is, I think, under here. So, yeah, it feels like we're just going to run for Agent 2 and try and find Agent 2. And see, there's really no reason to collect helmets anymore because we already got that perk. The only thing we haven't gotten is overcharging armor up to 200 and then killing using an overcharge. Maybe. I don't even think we have to do that anymore because I think we've already done that. Actually, this was being overcharged with health or armor would have counted there, I guess. So the things I haven't done up until this point are the things I should do, and halfway through the game is a decent point to start reconsidering how you play. Definitely feels like this is slightly smaller maps now, and maybe we will eventually start to see some zombies once we get through this area. Take some throwing knives. Like, it's very much too much on the nose, though, that you would just end up starting a level where in a boat shack full of weapons. Alright, we do have stealth. So this is a stealth mission again. So our first goal will be to grab some more armor. And you're in this weird position, certainly, where it doesn't feel like, even if you do have a silencer on, shooting anybody other than the commanders is the right move. And even shooting the commanders very possibly is the wrong move. And that you actually should stealth up to them. Like, could I throw a knife? I mean, it kind of doesn't matter. Can we fall in the water? Yes, we can. So it feels like there could be a whole nother way to enter these levels. I don't even know if you would actually drown. It does definitely give the feeling like this is a good plan, but I'm not sure they really thought about it. I wouldn't be surprised if there's just no way up and around. I wouldn't be surprised if you can't actually climb up any of these walls, because they're fairly limited in what you can do. Yep. I think the idea is to probably aim from corners a lot more and just play the game in general a lot better than I have been. Right. That's one down. We probably don't obsessively need to reset the number of bullets. It does feel like we may hit a point here, though, where the game is going to have us run back through this entire city, this entire area, and use that and fight zombies. And we may finally get to the zombie element. Although it would also not surprise me if we kind of don't hit the zombie element. That's too low. Okay. What I would think is the case here is that here we do have like caskets. What I would think is the case here is that they're trying to make you move slow because they recognize that this back half of levels is particularly short and we're not going to have as long of experiences. Can't shoot that and drop that on anybody as we might have even in the first half of the game. But that really does not feel like that matches the ideas and the sentimentality around a Wolfenstein game. I'm seeing some visual glitching and loading in. We haven't seen a ton of that, mostly because we've kept within smaller areas, or at least areas that don't have a lot of textures. That looks like that might do something. Alright, so much for that. So much for taking it slow, so much for playing the game the way they want you to play it. How about we throw a grenade that way? Almost certainly isn't going to hit anybody. You should just stop crouching, even. And I have no idea where the guy was going to be. that's not gonna work. Oh, we're doomed. Maybe the stealth move was to go up here. Maybe the stealth move was to sneak around here. Agent
2's house lies beyond the market square, northwest, behind the tavern, next to Schmidt's an old baker shop. Use the same password as before.
And let's see, I am gonna just go ahead and assume that, yep, I did not actually pick up any of this stuff, so now I'd have to run around and grab it all again. Quite the punishment. They might as well have just put a checkpoint. I don't know where you would put a checkpoint there, but there's definitely room for one. Right. Yeah. Unless... like, what you need to do here, as silly as it may seem, is just mad rush until you can find the general, so that you can at least start to try and figure out where this general was standing, which I guess he was standing here. I don't even have any grenades to throw. And I assume that these doors are at least temporarily locked. So there's the other guy. Alright, so if I totally fail here, now I at least know where the two guys are. And now there is a reason to possibly go back and play it another time. We've at least learned something. Meanwhile, I'll just run around and we've gotten another perk basically for killing bullets with the less clip. How does that work? Reload match ability enables you to speed up reloading by repeatedly pressing X while reloading. Which kind of means it won't speed up that much. And I don't know how you don't come out of that kind of encounter and either just don't care and become callous and numb to the idea of failing so miserably, or come out of that encounter and feel like you're just a failure of a player. The game is not really taking pity on you by giving you encounters instead of asking you to do stealth. It's just making you fight more. And if you really like the run and gun shooting, I don't think that works very well in this game either, because I really have to question whether there isn't a fairly large number of people that would struggle. Like, sure, I will fully admit that I'm bad at run and gun shooters, but I don't feel like I'm this bad. That I'm playing on the easiest of easy difficulties and I'm still struggling. It almost feels like what the reload mashing is, and you probably wouldn't want to ever actually engage with it anyways, is that it just prevents potentially the bullets from falling out after the fact, which we see that happen fairly often. The game doesn't really adapt, so if we were struggling with that encounter, I feel like we're going to just walk through this next area and potentially have a boss fight or something. Some more collectible gold in the water, which that may indicate where a lot of the gold that we haven't found went, and we can't really climb back out, so feels like you would want to refill this gun. Unfortunately, you don't have that ability. You have a wrench instead of a pipe for, I guess, clue fans, and here you have a crowbar. So these are probably references to like BioShock and Half-Life. Or you could just take them literally as being, this is a place where people work. Feel like we may see the rat again. Can't climb up there. We are getting a checkpoint. But, you know, there's not really a lot of level. So unless we start getting attacked by drones or people start jumping out of the blimps, which that wouldn't be a terrible thought, but it's a little late in the game to introduce any kind of new gameplay mechanic. Shooting through the cracks. So that felt like that was going to be a boss fight, but it didn't turn into a boss fight. I can't see him. Just pulling both triggers. Let's see. Take some health. What's funny is, in my hazy memory, I question whether the encounters in like BioShock Infinite are much better than this. I think they probably are.
This place is infested with Nazi pigs. You should be careful. Do not kill anyone unless you have to.
What's that? Kill as many Nazis as I can?
No, I said...
Can't hear you, Kessler. Lots of static.
So, I assume that wasn't just a game over because I accidentally shot a guy I was supposed to meet, Agent 2, because that would be really silly if that's what happened. Yeah, we don't have an alarm going off, but also we don't really have the feeling like this is a stealth section. If anything, it just kind of feels like the game is leaving it fairly open for you to do whatever you want, not worry about it. It's funny you have this scale here. I definitely hear a dog, so I suspect that's one of the armored dogs is gonna pop out. But yeah, this is just a hallway with 3 people. And that's just a guy. Nothing special there. And it doesn't feel like there's anything else that we really needed to do. Boy, does that just kind of come off as like not a fully thought out process. Like, perhaps the idea here is that we will run into... Still don't have any of those bullets. Maybe we'll run into a lot of people, but doesn't really seem like it. Now we are just in a whole different section. So now the music's playing. Now we have the feeling that this is supposed to be stealth. Now we've gotten that. These maps help us minimally at best. Right, we can see there's a guy we'd like to kill, but first things first would be to shoot the guy, the general. And it seems to me like the generals are far away. So that we want to go up and over. Or do we want to work our way around? Not really seeing these generals. And let's get out of here and run. This is going to be a thing where we're going to and this, yeah, definitely feels more reminiscent of a BioShock encounter than fighting a Big Daddy or a handyman in BioShock Infinite. Then really we're doomed now. Okay. We know where one guy is. Let's try it again and find the other guy. Really all this is boiling down to, though, is... Oh, I missed some bullets that were up higher, and I'll never be able to go get those, I bet. Alright. 36 meters in that general direction. Hmm. 22 meters in this general direction. Okay. So can I, from this vantage point, kill this guy? And this gun has no bullets. So let's do this. Hmm. Alright, so now if we can grab like all the armor around here, I think we may be able to like may get our armor up to 200% if we could run around. Which, let's see if we can do that. Hmm. 120. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get our armor up to 200% at this rate. 110. I don't even know if we need to get the armor up to 200%. Hmm. 120. I just have a ridiculous amount of health now. It would be funny if there was a single 150. That definitely was doable. It'd be funny if there was a Nazi guard just hanging around and he lost interest. Right. I don't think that would have gotten me back up there anyways. This definitely just feels like an arena area. We didn't get any bullets for that, which that was the biggest loss. Audio's gone very echoey all of a sudden. I don't know if that's the blimp or if that's just the game intentionally making the audio echoey. We could have climbed up here, which maybe would have given you an advantage point, but I question that. Yeah, you can see there's some gold here, and that's the way we're going. I guess that's probably our only choice as a direction anyways. So what was behind that door in that room? Maybe there was nothing in that doorway. And I don't think it's worth it to go and check. Honestly, if every game worked where you had to fail once or twice before you could succeed, I would not be a fan of playing video games. This should be more intuitive and just kind of, it should feel natural. I should feel like a badass. Yeah, even playing on easy, the game should really bend over backwards to make me feel like I'm a good player. And we're just not really experiencing that. It feels like there's a lot of 3D models like these bikes that they've added for not really a good reason. I'd gladly remove bikes from the game if it gave me one better level. There's another drunk guy. I don't think we want to shoot him.
Was? Er ist kein schlechtes Omen. Vielleicht räumt dieser verfluchte Stadt endlich auf.
Yeah, this is the same guy
Solange ich dich
again.
wird mir nichts passieren. Nichts.
I feel like you could accidentally have killed him, or you get a character model by waiting around. I imagine he's not an important enough character. He may very well represent some family member of B.J. Blazkowicz if this is all happening in his head. And this is all just a delusion. Or a coma dream for what happened in the New Order.
There's Schmitz, the baker shop. Kessler, I found Agent 2's house.
Thank God. Contact me when you have the folder.
Yeah, the odds that we're just going to get a folder and then that's going to be that, I think, is pretty low. Looking at the actual map, though. Interesting. I've missed something, apparently, because the exclamation point is over there in the corner. Well, whatever. I'm not going to go back and get it. Unless I have to.
Den sitzen singing in moonshine.
Open the gate to the side of the building. There's a key underneath a large rock. Use the basement window.
Key underneath the large rock. The whole keys and locked gates, locked doors haven't played enough of a role for a fairly short game with 8 chapters. You would think that there would be probably a key that unlocks something in every single chapter, and I don't think that's quite the case. Now we see the rat.
Where's your shirt, you handsome sod?
Pippa, you're Agent 2.
It's Nurse Inga now.
See, I don't even know if Pippa
Rest your feet for a moment. Have some
is
tea in
the
this
spy character that is in the New Order, or if that is a completely different character. Like, it's not super crazy that B.J. Blazkowicz would have a couple of romantic interests, or a different romantic interest in the alternate universe. This is wrong. This kind of handle, I just don't think would have existed in this time frame, and this kind of panel door doesn't feel right, and these kind of plastic bins don't quite feel right. I'm thinking a lot of the smaller stuff here is just being pre-made assets that they bought off of an asset store. That happens in the development of any game, but you kind of want to customize things so that they actually make sense in the universe you're telling.
This is where they transferred you.
Pause now, I guess, if you want to read. Pause now if you want to read.
Yeah, 6 months now.
Haven't seen you since the London HQ party.
Oh, that was a riot.
There's another
Wesley
letter.
spilled beer all over my Bristols.
We tried to save him, Pippa.
I know you did, love.
So
I'm
she's
sorry.
very
This is
British.
not the time for maudlin
So she
stories.
might very well be
Listen, I know what you're after,
Henry's
Wesley. The man in my
romantic
bed over there
interest.
is one of Helga's Nazi flunkies. Before he took a little nap, I loosened his tongue. The folder you're searching for is located in Helga's room at the Wolfberg Tavern. Now, apparently, she's quite the wine connoisseur. Pose as a waiter, and maybe you can get close to her.
So it seems like we're gonna get...
Put some bloody clothes on first. There's a shirt in the chest over there.
So we have been just bare-chested this whole time. Which I'm sure that was why I was getting spotted so easily. So, yeah.
I'm revolted by the sight of your shirtless torso, BJ, but you need to blend in.
Not going to do too much with this character. Seems like they felt the need to have some female characters in the game.
Your guns, but Tavern staff don't carry firearms. I'll keep them safe for you. Fucking Nazis.
And it seems like we're going to get...
Just follow these Bergs like brainless ghouls. Maybe they deserve nothing better.
Yeah, how in the world shirtless are you carrying all these guns, by the way? You just make the assumption that it's magic, I guess.
These hinges are rusted. Come help me with this, Blazkowicz.
All the secondary characters kind of don't
The
matter.
tunnel is a 9.4 meter swim to the well in the tavern's backyard. Return to me once you've obtained Helga's folder. And don't you fucking drown on me now, you adorable tosspot.
Alright, so we're just going to jump in. And I guess they were just assuming that you weren't ever going to really look at this door.
Go on then, love. Get into the tunnel.
Them hinges don't rust till I get back.
We've swum quite a bit, and having the knife in your hand does not seem to be something that you can actually even use. Like, when you're in the water, I'm pulling the left trigger, it's not doing anything. So it seems to be completely for show. Like, pulling the left trigger does swing it outside of the water. So that just feels like that's a gameplay mechanic they abandoned. And this is probably going to turn into much like the sequence in New Order where you get close to Helga and she sniffs you out and catches you. What do we have as weapons, by the way? Some throwing knives, and that's it. They said that was a 9-meter swim. It definitely does come off as either you are supposed to really pull off an amazing stealth sequence here, or there's only collectibles in this area. We can overcharge our health, and we can overcharge our armor by taking the dog out. So it probably is wiser to take these snoring dogs out. But take notice, they really just don't have a system here. Like, the dogs don't smell you. They don't start sniffing. You can get right up to them and take them down stealth-like. The dogs in the original Wolfenstein 3D are more dangerous. And I kind of assume I'll just put the knife away when I open the door. I don't think the goal here is to try and climb mountains or get on top of buildings or anything. So here's a black version of that same door with that same handle.
Cousin went along to dive bar in Mesquite. Earned my first $1 there. Spent it all on rock candy. Sweet, sweet candy.
Yep, you can see he's still thinking, giving more backstory. I guess that's what the rat is sending you to. I don't feel like these warning stickers would exist either. And so why not just poison Helga if she's a wine connoisseur? There we can see a lot of people.
Rudolf meint, dass ihr heute den Weg hinein öffnen werdet. Das ging aber schnell.
None of them seem to be the ones in the big armor. So, pause now if you want to read that. You got some pictures, which maybe are being reused. So there's like nothing else you can do. And they're all speaking in German. Again, this should really just be translated.
Ach, halten Sie doch die Schnauze, Sie Jammerlappen. Nach allem, was ich für General Strasse in Erfahrung gebracht habe, sollte mir
We'll go and collect them later.
nicht zu früh, ich sterbe vor Durst. Ach, Schreiner, Sie elender Langweiler. Erwarten Sie tatsächlich von
Let's
mir, dass
see.
ich Ihre Anwesenheit nüchtern ertrage?
Schicken Sie ihn weg, damit wir unser Gespräch fortsetzen.
So you just put the tray on top of it and then you grab the folder.
Lassen Sie mich doch erst mal meinen Wein genießen.
I don't even know if this is the same Helga
Bringen Sie zur Ausgrabung
from the main game.
schon sehen. Warten Sie.
Fuck.
Setzen Sie sich.
Have a seat. So she's going to
Wie heißen Sie?
once again
France.
interview you, and you're gonna fail the interview.
Mein Cousin ist auch so. Fasziniert Sie
This
das?
doesn't feel like the same Helga.
Als Kind habe ich meine eigenen Karten gezeichnet und im Wald bei uns zu Hause nach Schätzen gegraben. Ja, so konnte ich allein sein.
Really, I don't even want to pay attention because it's just in German.
Ich war
No offense to the German language, but it's just
schrecklich
too much to pay attention to look down at a subtitle and look up at a face. And this is coming from somebody who watches closed caption TV almost 100% of the time. There's something about video games that just adds that extra degree of distraction.
Ich habe mein Schicksal in die Hand genommen.
Yeah.
Haben Sie Ihr Schicksal in der Hand, Friends? Nur zu. Probieren Sie den Wein für mich.
Alright. She thinks you poisoned the wine, so much for that idea.
Und?
Köstlich.
I feel like
Sie
she's
haben einen
gonna turn
interessanten
around
Akzent.
and shoot this guy. And that's gonna be the surprise twist here. And they're gonna let you.
Das ist der erbärmlichste Wein, den ich je getrunken habe. Der ist sauer, um Gottes Willen. Trinken Sie aus.
Okay.
Man riecht es sofort. Wie feuchter Keller. Muffig. Ein Hauch von Rosine. Und der Geschmack. Süß wie Portwein.
See, I don't know if I'm supposed to be looking at something or looking to grab
Sowas würde
something.
ich nicht mal meinem ärgsten Feind vorsetzen.
Warum verschwenden Sie Ihre Zeit mit diesem Banausen?
Because, my dear, incompetent Shriner, he's not a waiter. He's a spy! Did you really think I would be impressed by your atrocious German? Now give me the folder, Franz! Oh. Behalten Sie ihn im Auge. Was ist los, Eberhard?
They blew the hole to a crypt.
Eberhard, unternehmen Sie nichts, bis ich bei Ihnen bin. Verstanden?
And apparently that just jumps into a cutscene. So I guess I should have waited a little bit longer.
Was passiert?
Sie haben den Boden mit Dynamit gesprengt. Das muss das Erdbeben ausgelöst haben.
Diese Stadt?
Apparently they caused an earthquake.
Raus! Schnell, bevor das ganze Gebäude einstürzt. Wir müssen zur Ausgrabungsstätte.
Part of the problem with the whole idea of ancient Atlanteans or zombies, whatever weird third twist you're going to take to Wolfenstein, on top of the already weird twist of
Looks like a dusty hole there.
of advanced technology and the Nazis winning in this alternate universe.
Kessler, can you hear me?
They just don't
Helga's gone.
do enough with
Took the
it.
folder with her. I'm coming back to the boathouse now. Do you copy?
I don't think it matters. Pause now if you want to read. I guess pause now if you want to read. Pause now if you want to read. I assume that's the same piece of paper. So we are, pause now if you want to read, setting ourselves up for finally seeing the zombies, but they have also set themselves up in such a way that if I do see zombies, it could be half concussion now and half BJ Blazkowicz just hallucinating things. There are no guns in this treasure chest, which I guess maybe makes an argument that that shouldn't be there if they had previously established that guns were going to be in the treasure chest. Let's just double check that to be the case. And we've got a knife. And we can't pick up this other knife. And we are just going to work our way through it all. It is very late in the game, though, to introduce the zombies and introduce the crypt, and the crypt being blown up and all of that. It really feels like the first chapter of this game would have been DLC for the New Order, and that the twist on the second chapter of this would have been a separate other piece of DLC. And at a certain level, maybe it is just a little too boring to have a bit of DLC that has you wandering around and escaping Castle Wolfenstein, which is all Wolfenstein 3D really is. And it's maybe a little too short and a little too weird to have zombies alone. But this game definitely is sold like you're going to be fighting zombies from the word go, and we're really 5-6 hours into gameplay before we've even started to see a hint that we actually will see zombies. And unless the game is going to change and we're going to go from chapter 6 to 7 to 8 and then back through all of the other levels with zombie Nazis instead of just regular Nazis, or I don't know why this is broken up this way. It just feels like the old blood was the bad content left on the cutting room floor, and should have been left on the cutting room floor for the New Order. The New Order, on the other hand, was very well received, and I honestly feel like it played a lot better. And there was better characters, more interesting characters, more interesting things going on, more backstory for BJ Blazkowicz. As far as perks go, stealth killing 12 more commanders is probably out the window. It kind of feels like if you were going to get this, you would have had to actually stealth killed almost all the commanders in the game. And if we had gotten that, then we would have gotten all the collectibles marked on the map, which maybe that feeds into itself and is useful. Killing 25 more people with the bomber snouts. Still trying to get our overcharge of armor over to 200. I seriously doubt we'll ever have enough bullets for this gun to kill 50 people. We've yet to find what a single pipehead explosion is. Even. It must be some kind of melee kill that happens fairly infrequently. We've still not managed to kill 3 enemies with 1 grenade. We killed only 10 people out of 50 from cover. And the MG46s has only killed 62 people. So it's very possible that we won't get any more perks. Let's see. Machine gun 4.6 is the big one. Yeah, it does just kind of feel like you would have to you would have to play chapters multiple times. Maybe you get a pipehead explosion if you hit somebody with the elongated pipe instead of the shortened split in half pipe. I don't know. That might be it. Honestly, though, I think we are hitting a point where I think I just prefer to play the last couple chapters, not really bother to do the challenges, and just call it a day. In the meantime, there's plenty of other games to play, even in the Wolfenstein series, because you could play easily if you haven't played the New Order. You could play that, then you could take a year break or longer, and then you could play Wolfenstein 2 of the reboot series, and then you still would be waiting, as of this recording, for Wolfenstein 3. And if you get really bored, then you could come back and play the Old Blood or Young Blood, but both of those side stories arguably not so much worth playing, and particularly Young Blood, you're not even playing as BJ Blazkowicz, and you're playing in a different time frame. Again, it jumps forward even more towards the future, which arguably it's starting to feel like they may want Wolfenstein 3 to happen in present time, which that would be weird. Yeah, I guess I don't have anything else to say. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wish list. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.